Good morning, children. So here we are once again with your English class, and today we are doing one of the topics from our grammar, and the title of the topic is adjectives. Now let's see what adjectives are. See, have a look at this picture. What do you notice? What do you observe in this picture? Yes, it's a very simple picture with a girl in it. So the first thing that comes to our mind is that there is a girl in the picture. But then we can think of other things also. We can observe so many other things and talk about them, about this picture. So we have to think deep into it. If we want to express our thoughts and all, we have to think about them, and we can simply use a lot of vocabulary. So what all comes to our mind after seeing that picture? So first of all, that picture is of a girl, and what is that girl? That girl comes in nouns. Since we know what nouns are naming words where we have persons, places, animals and things. So the first thing that comes to our mind after seeing that picture is that it is a girl. Secondly, girl is a noun. So what more can we think about that picture? What more? All these things, all these words which answer these questions, we can use those words for that picture. So what kind of girl was that? She was a girl. She was a pretty girl. She was a beautiful girl. She was a small girl. She was a little girl. And which one? That one, the one in the picture. How many? Just one. There was just a girl or a one girl in that picture. And how much, how beautiful was she? Okay, so all these words which answer these questions can be used for that girl. So this is the first thing we can use for that picture. I saw a girl in the picture. Okay, what kind of girl did you see? I saw a pretty girl. So this pretty answers the question what kind. That means it is giving our opinion. I saw a pretty little girl. So there are two words or three words which have been used for this girl. Which all words? A, pretty and little. Now some more examples. Here we have books. What words can be used for these books? Robert had 4 books on his shelf. So here we are using the number 4. Of course, we can use other words for these books. Red books, red covered books, big books, thick books. So many words can be used for these books. Here we have a girl, Christina. She's playing with the ball. So Christina bounced the round basketball. Again, we can use so many other words instead of this round, big, brown, so many words for the basketball. The colorful butterfly was on the flower. So here we are using words for the butterfly, that there is a colorful butterfly. So next, Jasmine looked into the clear ball. So all these words, clear, colorful, big, small, four, all these words, they are doing what? They are describing some nouns. How are they describing the nouns? They are describing the noun by answering the questions like what kind, which one, how many, how much, and many more others. Okay. So all those words which were highlighted in the previous pictures, they are all describing words. And what were they describing? They were describing nouns. What were they describing? They were describing nouns, or they were describing or modifying nouns. They were telling us something about the nouns. What were they telling? They were telling us what kind, how many, which one. So adjectives. What are adjectives? Adjectives are modifiers. What do they modify? They modify a noun. They modify nouns. They tell us more about nouns or pronouns. So adjectives can be located by asking questions to the nouns like these questions, which we have already discussed. So adjectives are describing words. The shortest description of adjectives is that they are describing words. And how are they describing words? They are describing words when they describe the size of some noun. Okay? By describing the size of the nouns. And they describe the color of the nouns. What else do they describe? They describe shape. They describe number. They tell us about the sound. They tell us about the feel. How do we feel after we touch a noun? And what do we feel when we taste some noun? And how is the smell of some flower or something like that, and the weather. So all these words which tell us about size, number, smell, etc., they can be adjectives because they are describing adjectives there. So what are we doing here? We are doing adjectives. So adjectives are words that describe a noun or a pronoun. How do they describe? They describe nouns or pronouns by telling us about their size, their color, the taste, the feel, and so many other things. And answering questions like which one, and how much, how many. So what is an adjective? Adjective is a word that describes a noun or a pronoun. So here we have an example. Vijay, this is a boy whose name is Vijay. So we can say what kind of a boy is Vijay. And we have formed our opinion that Vijay is a good boy. So this underlined good word is the adjective here. Now coming to kinds of adjectives. How many kinds of adjectives are there? Though there are more kinds of adjectives, but we are doing only few of them. So which ones are we doing? We are doing, first is adjective of quality. Then we have adjective of quantity. Then we have interrogative adjective. Next we have adjective of number, demonstrative adjective, and last we have possessive adjective. So these are the kinds of adjectives. First, adjective of quality, adjective of quantity, adjective of number, and adjective of demonstrative adjective. Next is interrogative adjective, and last is possessive. So we are doing 6 kinds of adjectives here. Now taking the first one, adjective of quality. Now what does this kind tell us? Words that describe quality. See here, we are answering the question what kind when we are forming the opinion about some noun. What kind of a noun is this? The noun is good, bad, beautiful, ugly, tall, small, big, little. All these words which can be used for the question what kind. So they are all adjectives of quality. They tell us about the quality of a noun, and that quality can be, remember, that quality can be positive as well as negative. It is not that we are always talking about some positive quality of a noun. We can be talking about negative quality also. So ugly, small, like, fat. So all these words can be adjectives also, though in a negative manner. So here is an example. I have a nice teddy. What kind of a teddy do you have? I have a nice, plump, fat, brown teddy. So all these words, nice, brown, awesome, cute, they are adjectives of quality that can describe a noun by answering the question what kind. Now next is quantity. Quantity is usually used for uncountable nouns, where we cannot say the number, where we cannot count the noun, but we can measure it. So they answer the question how much. So this is it. Adjective of quantity, they describe a noun or a pronoun by telling us about its quantity, or they answer the word how much. Words like enough, a lot of, some, little, more, all these words are adjectives of quantity. So words that describe quantity of noun or pronoun are adjectives of quantity, and they answer the question how much. Now coming to next kind, adjectives of number. Here we can take examples of countable numbers, where we can use words for exact numbers like 4, 5, 6, first, second. We can talk about the exact numbers and exact ranks by using words like 4, 5, 3, 2, then first, second. So we use these words for ordinal as well as cardinal numbers, and they answer the question how many. Like in the example, Shivani has 4 apples. Words that describe exact number of a noun. Shivani has 4 apples, or we can use Shivani has an apple. So an also tells us how many. An means only one. How many? 10, 8. So words which answer how many are adjectives of number. Now next, demonstrative adjectives. Words that point out to a specific person, thing, or animal. They are demonstrative adjectives, or they answer the question which one. This boy, this book. So these words which tell us about, which point out to a specific person or thing are demonstrative adjectives. So like, this book is mine, or that book. See the difference between this and that. This is used for an object which is near, and that is used for an object which is quite far. So they're plural. These we use for plural nouns when we have to point out to some nouns and which are quite near to us, and those are also used for plural nouns, but for objects which are far from us. So words like this, that, these, those, they are demonstrative adjectives. Again, that, these, that point out. Now one thing which you must understand. See, this book, this word can be used as demonstrative pronoun also. But what is the difference? So how do you identify whether the word this is an adjective or a pronoun? So what you have to remember, if the word this is modifying the noun, is modifying a noun for which it is being used, then that means it is an adjective. But if this is used as a pronoun, so it can be a demonstrative pronoun. So, and one thing which you can identify, which is the easiest way of identifying whether the word this is an adjective, demonstrative adjective or demonstrative pronoun, is that demonstrative adjective always is used just before the noun it is modifying. So here you can see this book. Book is the noun, and this word here is modifying the book. So here it is used as an adjective, but here it is coming just before a verb, is the verb. So here it is used as a pronoun. So remember, children, this thing you have to remember, because this word this, this word can be used as a demonstrative pronoun as well as demonstrative adjective. So how can you identify it? You can identify it if the word this is modifying a noun, then it is an adjective, or if it is used as a pronoun instead of a noun, so it can be demonstrative pronoun. And remember their placing, where they are used. If like this is used immediately before a noun, that means it can be demonstrative adjective. But if it is used just before a verb, it can be demonstrative pronoun. Here, like this book, in the example this book, here it is used just before the noun it is modifying, so it is demonstrative adjective. And in the next example, in the pronoun example, it is used just before the verb, so it is demonstrative pronoun. Now coming to next kind, interrogative adjective. Interrogative adjectives. Interrogative, as you know, are questioning words. So words with WH, words which are used as interrogatives having WH, beginning with WH, are and they are used with nouns to ask questions. See, are used with nouns to ask questions, so they are interrogative adjective. So these are the WH interrogative words. Words like who, whose, what, which and whom. Now example, which book is yours? See here, which is the interrogative adjective and it is used with the noun. So it is an example of interrogative adjective. Which book is yours? Which is your book? Again, these words, interrogative words, can be interrogative adjectives as well as interrogative pronouns, and you have to identify whether this word is an adjective or it is a pronoun. So here also the rule is the same. If it is modifying the adjective, here again it is used with a noun, so that means this which is modifying the noun book. So here it is an adjective, and here it is used as a pronoun. So is a verb, and this which is used just before this verb. So here again you can identify the placing of this word, WH word. So if it is used with a noun, that means it is modifying the noun, and if it is used with a verb, that means it is used as a pronoun. So this is how you can identify. So confusion of whether word is adjective or pronoun. Word used instead of a noun, that means it is a pronoun, and word used to describe a noun, it is an adjective. Now last, possessive adjectives. Possessive, as you know, they tell us about the ownership of some noun, and they tell us the answer of whose. Okay, so possessive adjectives, words that are used to show ownership. Joe left his bat at home. Other examples are my, our, her, their. Now here also, once again, we have possessive adjectives as well as possessive pronouns. And again, if this word possessive is used just before a noun, see here, bat is the noun, and then we have his. So this his is used with the noun. That means it is an adjective, possessive adjective. But if it is used after a verb, like in the second example, pronoun example, and at the end, usually at the end of a sentence, then it is possessive pronoun. Got it? So it is the same. If it is used, if it is modifying a noun with which it is used, so it is possessive adjective. And if it is used after a verb here, now not before a verb but after a verb here, and usually at the end of a sentence, then it is the possessive pronoun. So this was it. So what did we learn in this? We learned in this types of adjectives. First we learned about adjectives, and then we learned about types of adjectives. And how many kinds are there? For us there are 6. First was adjective of quality, answering the question what kind, like in the example, baby has soft skin. Adjective of quantity, answering the question how much, I have enough knowledge. Adjective of number, answering the question how many, Sanjay came first in the class. Demonstrative adjective, that pen is mine. And it is answering the question which one. Interrogative adjective, words, interrogative words beginning with WH. Whose bicycle is this? And possessive adjective telling us about the ownership of some noun. So they always come before a noun, like in the sentence example, my mother is here. So these were the kinds of adjectives. Now something you must always remember. What? One should not use too many adjectives in the sentence. So if you want to write good English, you should not, just because you know the vocabulary, you know about some words, but then you should avoid using too many adjectives. Only use adjectives which are relevant to the sentence, which doesn't give it an impression of that you have been overdoing it, that you have been using words in a wrong manner. But if you have to express more than one or two adjectives in a sentence, then you must follow a proper sequence. So this is the sequence of the adjectives you should follow when using different adjectives for a single noun. Now to make a perfect sentence, one should follow the following order. Of course there are many more orders, but then we are doing only these. First, talk about the size of the sentence, size of the noun. Then its texture, how do you feel? Then color, and last is type. So this is the proper sequence you should use while describing a noun, by using more than one adjective. So it is like this. So if we are talking about a ball, we can't say the yellow shiny big beach, the yellow big beach shiny ball. See, yellow is the color, it is coming later. Big is the size, it should be in the beginning. Beach, it is the kind, and shiny is the texture. So it has all been mixed up. This is not a proper sequence. So this proper sequence is big, talking about the size. Shiny, talking about the texture. Yellow is the color, and beach is the what kind. So this is the proper sequence you should always follow while using more than one or two adjectives in a sentence. So that was all for today in the first topic, adjectives and its kinds. Now we'll go to degrees of comparison or degrees of adjectives. Thank you.